Now that we become familiar with the fuzzing process and the AFL++, it's time to dive into hunting for our first CVE in a real-world target. We will begin by visiting the official AFL repository and heading again to the tutorial section. So here. This time, however, we will select the Antonio Morales Fuzz1001 repository. In this fantastic repo, you will find 10 exercises based on real-world CVE, starting with common software and libraries like Xpdf and tcpdump, all the way to a final challenge involving Google Chrome. In this course, we will focus on the first 3 exercises in this repo, but feel free to challenge yourself and solve all of them. Alright, so let's dive into the first exercise. And here the goal is to find a crash for this particular CVE in Xpdf version 3.02. We won't spoil now what the CVE is, but instead we jump straight into the exercise. Okay, so we start by downloading the archive containing the source code of our target. Then we extract it. And we go into the directory. Then we can build it. But we have to be a bit careful because in this exercise we don't have CMake available, but instead the project uses auto tools. That means that we'll need to run first the configure script to prepare the build of the environment. The configure script checks your system for the necessary dependencies and then generates the appropriate make file for the build process. And after run configure, you can proceed with building the project using make as usual. So we first need to run the configure script, and we specify that we want the folder where we want to put our output. Okay, now we can make it. If you want, you can use the J option to use all the core available in your system, just to be faster. And then we can make install. Now the output should be in our home folder inside the fuzzing Xpdf install directory. As you can see, we have the bin directory, and inside it we have all the binaries compiled from our source code. If we want to play a bit with the output binaries, we have first to have some PDF. So we have to build our corpus, our initial corpus. And to do that, we can open a new terminal. And for example, in our home directory, we can create a folder, PDF input. And we can download inside this folder some PDF examples. We can take the examples directly from the repo. So you can select one of these links or all of 3 of them and download the files. Okay, so now we have some PDF inside our folder. We can go back to the binaries and we can try to play with one of them. For example, PDF info, box, meta, and we pass one of our example. And as you can see, this binary will return to us some properties of the hello world PDF file. We can play also with the other binaries. For example, we can use the PDF to text. In that case, we have to pass as a first parameter the input PDF that we want. Let's say hello world. And then we have to specify the output. So we can say, for example, we put it in temp B. Now, if we cut temp B, we can see the content, and also we can see that temp B, the hello world PDF file, was converted in a text file.